The death of a king, the end of a reign, is one of the most dramatic and defining moments in history. It's a time when dynasties crumble, secrets spill into the light, and the very future of a nation hangs in the balance. We've seen it play out time and time again in stories like Game of Thrones, the build-up to a monarch's death, the consequences that follow, and the way their legacy is either solidified or shattered in their final days. The weight of their passing ripples through the corridors of power, changing the course of history forever. But for King Charles, the end of an era is no mere story, it is a reality he faces in his own life. In the twilight of his reign, Charles finds himself navigating the crushing weight of royal responsibility, all while silently battling a longing far greater than any title, the desperate yearning for his family's love and unity. The whispers of a cancer diagnosis, a shadow that looms over Buckingham Palace, have only added to the pressure. Time, once his ally, now seems to slip through his fingers like sand. The clock is ticking, and with each passing moment, Charles feels the weight of missed opportunities and unhealed wounds between him and his family. It is not just his legacy as king that troubles him. No, it's the relationships, the ties that bind him to those he loves most, that now seem fragile and frayed. There's an ache within him, a quiet sorrow that grows louder as the days pass. Beneath the crown, the ceremonial robes, and the state duties, Charles is a man desperate for something far more precious than power, the warmth and connection of his family. But with every passing day, that seems more and more out of reach. Years of duty, betrayal, public scandal, and personal grief have created rifts that seem impossible to mend. And yet, he presses on, because for Charles, there is one truth that matters above all else: no legacy, no matter how grand, is greater than the love and unity of family. This epiphany propels him on a path toward reconciliation. But it is not a path that is easily walked. The challenges are immense, and the risks are high. The future of the monarchy, and the legacy he will leave behind, rests on the success of this delicate endeavor. Sources close to the royal family have revealed that King Charles has taken a bold and somewhat controversial step. He has instructed his wife, Queen Camilla, to stop making inflammatory remarks, and to cease interfering with Prince William's vision for the future of the monarchy. For Charles, the stakes have never been higher. This is not just a matter of royal protocol, it is a fight for his family's future. The future he envisions is one where the monarchy is carried on by a new generation, by his grandchildren, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. In an age when the royal family is under greater scrutiny than ever, Charles understands that the key to its survival is in presenting the young royals as symbols of stability and modernity. Their public personas must be carefully crafted, their roles within the family clearly defined. It is a strategy that highlights not just their royal lineage, but their ability to connect with the people in a world that increasingly values relatability over tradition. But amid this calculated move toward the future, there is a simpler, more poignant wish that drives Charles forward: the desire to be reunited with his grandchildren, Archie and Lilibet. In their laughter, in their innocence, he finds solace. For a man who has known the weight of the world on his shoulders for so long, it is the unguarded joy of his grandchildren that offers a fleeting taste of peace. He dreams of a day when they can run freely through the gardens of Balmoral, their giggles ringing in the air, as if erasing all the pain and division that have marked his family in recent years. But this vision, so beautiful, so serene, remains just that, the dream. The fractures that divide his family are deep, and healing them is no simple task. Charles knows this all too well. The distance between him and his sons, the unspoken words, the moments of failure, it all weighs heavily on him. And yet, despite this harsh reality, he refuses to surrender to despair. There is still hope, however faint. Hope for forgiveness. Hope for reconciliation. Hope that the future can be shaped not by the mistakes of the past, but by the love that still lingers beneath the surface. In the quiet moments, when the world slows and he is alone with his thoughts, Charles reflects on the years that have passed. He wonders if it is too late to make things right, to repair the damage done, to heal the wounds that have scarred his family. He wonders if there is still time to reach out to Harry and Meghan, to offer them an olive branch, to finally bridge the gap that has kept them apart. The pain of those fractured relationships haunts him, but the glimmer of hope, the possibility of a brighter future, drives him to act. But as much as he hopes for reconciliation, the reality is that his actions have not come without consequences. Queen Camilla, who has stood by his side through thick and thin, now finds herself on the outside looking in. Insiders close to the Queen Consort have suggested that she feels isolated, unappreciated, and unrecognized for her role in supporting Charles. Her efforts to integrate into the royal family, to win over the public and her family, have often been met with skepticism and criticism. Her past, filled with scandal and controversy, continues to overshadow her present, leaving her feeling like an outsider in a family she has tried so hard to be a part of. But despite this, Camilla remains steadfast in her loyalty to Charles. She understands the enormity of the task at hand, healing a fractured family, ensuring the stability of the monarchy, and securing a future where the crown continues to thrive. However, the emotional toll of this journey cannot be underestimated. The strain of public perception, the weight of her past, and the demands of royal life leave her feeling vulnerable. In her quieter moments, she too wonders if she will ever truly be accepted, if her place within the royal family will ever be fully embraced. And yet, Charles remains determined. For him, the greatest legacy he can leave behind is not one of royal grandeur or political victories, but one of love. Love for his family, love for his country, and love for humanity. It is love that transcends power, that endures beyond titles and crowns. He knows that the true measure of a king is not found in the splendor of his court, but in the relationships he has nurtured, the connections he has made, and the love he has given. As the days pass, Charles waits with bated breath. He waits for response, for a sign that his efforts have not been in vain. He waits for a glimmer of hope that his family can heal, that the rifts can be bridged, and that a brighter future awaits. The years of struggle, of heartache, of missed opportunities, have brought him to this point. Now, he must choose whether to embrace the possibility of reconciliation, or to accept the painful reality that some wounds may never fully heal. In the end, King Charles understands one profound truth. True fulfillment does not lie in the grandeur of palaces, in the ceremonies of state, or in the weight of the crown upon his head. It lies in the embrace of loved ones, in the bond of family, and in the promise of a future where love triumphs over all. As he stands at the crossroads of his legacy, Charles knows that the fate of the monarchy rests not in the hands of the crown, but in the hands of his children and grandchildren. And in the quiet, reflective moments, he asks himself, what kind of legacy will he leave behind? Will it be one of royal splendor and political power, or will it be one defined by the love of family, the healing of wounds, and the hope for a brighter tomorrow? Only time will tell, but for Charles, the answer lies in the choices he makes today. The greatest legacy a king can leave behind is not one of wealth or influence, but of love, love that endures, love that heals, and love that binds generations together, long after the crown has been passed on.